What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 6, you guys. The episode is titled The Price of Fame. Now, before we go ahead and get into the review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and get into this episode of Raising Kanan, shall we? All right, you guys, so the episode starts up and we are at the bar, right? And this is a memorial service for Fame. Remember, last week we found out that Fame is no longer with us. So this week is all about Fame. And so, like I said, this memorial service, we see everybody there, right? Rock, Marvin, Lou, Juke, Kanan, Jessica, and Mrs. Figueroa. So then we see as Rock was talking to, if I'm not mistaken, she was talking to Lou, right? And she asked Lou if he's heard anything about who put Fame down. And so Lou is like, yeah, nah, I haven't heard anything out there, much like with everything else, right? And, Rock is like, well, when it comes to Kanan, I'm worried about my boy and what he might do, right? Because he's gonna want payback. And Lou is like, yeah, I would too. I do too, right? And Rock was like, I thought you were done with that life. He was like, she's like, I thought you were done with that. He said, I am, but when it comes, but for Fame, he'll do it. I was like, oh God. But then I'm like, but y'all don't have anybody to go after, so what is this payback, right? And we're gonna get into that a little bit more as we get into the episode, right? So then while Rock and Lou were talking, Jessica came up. And Rock was like, there's somebody that want to talk to you. So she let Jessica go and have a few minutes with Lou. We see that they embraced each other. And then we also saw as Marvin was talking to Shirley, right? Now, I didn't put this in my notes, but I can remember it. So the scene with Marvin and Shirley, it really wasn't a whole lot. Shirley was just basically telling Marvin to keep everybody close to him, right? Which, okay, cool. I don't have a problem with that. So then we see Rock. Rock went over there where Kanan and Jukebox were, right? And Rock asked Kanan and Jukebox, like, how y'all feeling? And Kanan was like, how you think we feeling? I was like, little motherfucker. It was a rhetorical question. But she said, Kanan, Fame wouldn't want you to do anything reckless, right? And then Kanan got up and walked away. And Rock told Juke, like, keep an eye on your cousin. You guys, to me, it's still interesting because we're 4 seasons into Raising Kanan, right? And we still see Jukebox and Kanan as close as thick as thieves, right? But again, we remember original Power, Kanan was the one that popped Jukebox, right? But it's interesting. It's very interesting. So now we're gonna pause here and we're gonna move forward, you guys. All right, so since we're talking about Kanan, let's just wrap Kanan and Jukebox them all, and even Miss Figueroa. Let's wrap them all up in a nice little tight bow, right? So we see Kanan. So Kanan went to the trap house, right? And OC is there. So OC is telling Kanan, we short on product, and then he says we ain't got no product. Then Kanan asking him, has he heard anything about what happened to Fame? OC is telling him he hasn't heard anything or not much. So Kanan is like, OC, which one is it? Like you saying we ain't got no product or we low on product. Did you say you ain't heard nothing about Fame? And did you say, which one is it, OC? I got good money and I want to find out who did this to Fame. And I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to make them pay for it and I'm going to pay whoever give me the information about what happened to Fame. I was like, fatal mistake, Kanan. Well, I don't know if I'm going to say fatal, because we know it's not fatal. But great, and I don't even want to say that. Terrible mistake, Kanan, because you're telling him to find out whatever he can find out about fame, right? But he knows you're skimming, so he knows you got money on the side. And if this is somebody who ain't bringing a whole lot of money right now, of course he gonna be like, you know what? This man just asked me to find out who iced out his brother. Shit, and he paying good money for it. Shit, I'm gonna give him whatever the hell, I'm gonna give him what he wants. So I don't know why Kanan didn't think that through, but he didn't think that through, right? So then we see as Kanan left the stash house, right? Went to the spot where he's stashing his money. And so he went in there, he dropped the money off, and he dipped out, right? Now mind you, you in the drug game and you ain't even what the hell is that? Oh. You in the drug game, you not walking around, trying to make sure ain't nobody watching you because out on the street, OC is in his car watching Kanan. And I was like, what is OC up to? Now, what I will say is, I kind of wonder, is OC working with, well, we know he is, but like, how deep is he working with Unique? Like, that's something that I wonder, how deep is he working with Unique? So then later in the episode, we see as Kanan, he's up with OC and some other dudes that work for him, right? So now they got a name for who took out Fame. So they saying it's Freddie's people who took out Fame in retaliation for Fame taking out Freddie. And I was like, Kanan, you don't think that was like your wheels ain't moving, thinking like, okay, y'all just told me, even if you want to say 24 hours, 48 hours, hell, even a week ago, you just told me you ain't had nothing. But now miraculously, you got a crew who did this. You give me 4 names of 4 people who took out Fame. But Kanan ain't putting 2 and 2 together. Wow. So then we move on to Agent Garcia, right? So Garcia is over to Miss Figueroa's crib, and he's questioning her about, Fame's friends. And I was with Miss Figueroa when she was talking to Garcia. I was like, wow, now you have a lot of urgency when it comes to Fame, and he's no longer here. But when she came to you talking about her son was missing, you was talking about the fact that Fame was a suspect. But now you're saying, oh, he was working with one of he was working to bring down the police. Which one is it, bro, man? Because if he was working to bring down the police, if he was a CI, then y'all would be taking this. Y'all would have taken this him being missing more seriously than what you, because you were very flippant with her, and I was with Miss Figueroa, and so when she got pissed off at Garcia and told him to get the fuck out of her house. I was with her. Get the fuck out of my house because now you want to sit here and play in my motherfucking face. Go on, skedaddle, get the fuck out of Dodge, sir. Like, what the fuck? Hell no. So then we see as Kanan pulled up on Freddie's men, right? He couldn't take him out because he noticed that one of them had a blicky in his pants, right? One of them, he had a blicky in his pants. Meanwhile, we see Juke. Juke is at home. She went up under the couch, took Marvin's blicky, and went target practice. I was like, and the look in her eyes when she was doing that target practice, I was like, again, I feel like that is the jukebox that we saw in the original Power. I'm like, now we're starting to see her. We still ain't got to how she got to be a police officer, but okay, very interesting, right? So when Jukebox got back home, Marvin's like, Juke, where you been? And she's like, I went target practicing. And he was like, but I asked you, like, when you put the mans down, were you good? And so Juke says, it's a lot of stuff. It's the stuff with Fame. It's the army. It's being back home. But what this is the 90s, so I know that they weren't, especially our people, we weren't here for therapy, right? But neither here nor there. So then after that, we see as Kanan went to go get Jukebox to go, because Juke had told him, like, once you find out who did this to Fame, I'm right there with you, right? So Kanan came by like, you in, Juke? So we see his Jukebox, and Kanan went to the basketball court. She, pow, the basketball. I was like, and she scared the shit out of them boys. And when she scared them boys, I was like, y'all should have realized at this particular moment, these boys didn't do anything to Fame. And they finally put it two and two together. They finally kind of put it together. One of the cats said, you know, he heard at the barbershop that it was the cops who did this to Fame. And she was like, which barbershop? And then she said, if I find out that you're lying, I'm coming for your peoples, and then I'm coming for you. And they left because the police were starting to show up at that. You know, they heard the police sirens showing up. And that was it with Kanan and Jukebox, you guys. Now, we'll pause here and we'll move forward. Next up, you guys, let's talk about Lou real quick. So we see Lou. So Lou went to an AA meeting, right? Lou is in a bad space with this whole Fame situation. And, you know, he doesn't, you know, he doesn't know what to do. And he doesn't really know who he is at this point. I was like, damn. I'm like, Lou, please, for the love of God, don't do what I think you're going to do. Well, we see Lou after that. He went to go check on that selfish ass mama, right? So this lady is talking to Lou. She was like, did your brother tell you what I asked him to do? He was like, nah. And she's like, your brother's a coward. And Lou was like, ma, he's not a coward. So then she says, and then you always were the sensitive one. Then she called him, what else did that lady call him? She called him sensitive, and she called him fragile. I was like, for a woman on her last days, you really talking shit to your kids. And then she said, I would have asked, because that's what she was like, I didn't ask you because you're the sensitive and fragile one, and your sister's the hard one. I was like, well, you might want to go with the hard one, because the hard one probably wouldn't care about taking your ass out, right? And here's the thing, I feel bad for the woman because, you know, that is, you don't want to see your loved ones in that type of pain. But at the same time, this woman is being irrational and being so sensitive, not insensitive, let's be real. And so she then asked Lou to take her out. I was like, girl, you would be better off asking Rock to take you out. Again, you just called her hard. So I have a feeling the quote unquote hard one wouldn't give it. Well, she'd cuss you out. Girl, don't ask Rock. Don't listen to me. Don't ask Rock, because that bitch is gonna cuss you clean, slap, smooth the fuck out. So ma'am, don't listen to what I said. Do the opposite. Girl, just let your body take you down. Please, for real, please let your body just do the work. Don't ask Rock, because you know that you're gonna get cussed out, right? So then we see Lou and Rilla, they in the studio. Actually, before that, Lou told her, you know, I can't do it. And she was like, you know, she's making it about herself. He was like, it's not about, because you're like, you know, if you do this for me, you know, it will be painless or whatever she said. He was like, I'm not worried about how it's gonna make you feel. I'm worried about how it'll make me feel. And that is the precise reason why Marvin wouldn't do it. How would you, like, I get that she's in pain. I get that she wants to be relieved of the pain, and that's fine, ma'am. I understand that I can't empathize with you, but, you know, because I can't put myself in their shoes, but, you know, damn, lady, damn. So we move over, we see Lou in the studio with Rilla. So Rilla is doing the song, right? And the song sounds good. Lou even says that the song sounds good to the engineer next to him, right? And so he tells Rilla to come out. When it comes to Rilla, he wants Rilla to stop rapping, being so, I guess, vocal about, you know, the chalk outlines, the cops, and all this stuff in his lifestyle, right? He wants him to be able to use metaphors, analogies, and all that kind of stuff in his rap. I was like, well, I mean, you see Rilla. Why do you think Rilla is going to be able to do that? But good luck with you. Good luck to you, right? Good luck to you. So then after that, we see as Lou was at the bar. He got a drink in front of him. I was like, Lou, don't put me through the bullshit that you put me through last season. Please and thank you, right? Thankfully, he did not put me through the bullshit that he put us through last season. He called Jessica. Jessica came down. You know, she talked him out of it, out of drinking the drink. They left. They went to the studio. They talked. They did the do, which I knew that was going to happen eventually. This is grief sex. Also speaking of Jessica, so she and her mama, because I didn't put this in the notes earlier, so she and her mother, they are deciding to go back to LA. Her mama is done with Southside Jamaica Queens, right? And then we see later as Imani came to the studio. So Imani came down to let Lou know. Remember the artist last week that has the mother that Imani needed to work on? Well, Imani went back to Lou, told Lou the good news that the mom will be able to, will be coming to the studio with the son, right? But then she saw Jessica's necklace and earrings, and she was like, "Whose is that?" And so she saw the chain. She was like, "Jess, Fame's sister. You might want to tell her she left the stuff here." I was like, "Imani, that ain't your man, baby girl. So he ain't played. Well, he did lie. Well, he didn't really lie to you. I mean, girl, you should know that this is grief sex. They just found out that Fame is dead. What did you expect?" But okay. So next up, we see Rilla. So Rilla went to, nah, I don't know if this is his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend, or just his, y'all know I hate this term, BM, right? But he went to her house with some diapers, right? And she was like, she needs a lot more than just diapers. She needs money. And I was like, well, baby girl, do you have a job? I ain't trying to be funny or nothing, but do you have a job? And I get it. It takes two to tango when it comes to a baby. But at least the man came presenting something that is tangible for the baby. I get that you need money. I really do get it, right? So then we see as Rilla went to go meet up with somebody named Kenyatta. So Rilla wants to go and rob Lowell. I said, oh my God, this is gonna be some shit. This is not gonna go well. This ain't gonna go well. Them robbing Lowell. Let's pause here, you guys. And I think I'm gonna wrap up the episode with Rock and Neek now, right? Because they kind of their scenes kind of go together just a little bit. So let's get into it, you guys. Now, let's get into Neek first. So we see Neek. So Neek went to go see Phil, right? Neek is telling Phil, like, he's getting back with his connect, and he's going to be getting ready to take back what is his. So he just needs from Phil money and muscle. And Phil is looking at him like, say what now? You need who? So Phil is like, how the fuck am I getting paid, and when am I getting paid? Neek didn't really have an answer to that. So Phil's like, you know what? When it comes down to this stuff with Rock and even Stefano, he was like, I can't have you take out. I don't need you. I can't have you take out Stefano, right? He's like, what I need to happen with Stefano is for, us to hit him and soften him so that way his people take him out. So he's telling him, when it comes to Rock and when it comes to Stefano, no bodies. But he did give him the name of a guy named Akbar that he wants for Neek to go to, and he'll have what he needs, right? So then we see as Neek went to, his when he got a fresh haircut, got his chains, got his tailored suit and stuff. I was like, okay, Neek, so you still doing the most for me. And I'm still tripping off of Neek, like Neek ain't put two and two together. And I feel like Neek ain't gonna put two and two together until we get to the tail end of the season, which we're not that far away because this is episode 6. So we got 4 more episodes left of this season. So I feel like by episode 8, Neek will know Rock ain't did shit to him, but neither here nor there, right? So then we see as Neek went to go meet up with Akbar, right? Who asked why he fucking with him. And Neek said that basically he's trying to move in silence. So Akbar told him, okay, you know what? I got some dudes over here that can help you. Now, moving on to Rock and Marvin. Now we see We see Rock and Marvin. So you guys remember last week, Marvin took out Terry. So now they got to deal with David, the brother. David is a crackhead, literally and figuratively a crackhead, right? So they trying to do business with David, tell David like we need the trucks to move so that the product is out there, right? David is more concerned about the fucking interior, about painting that fucking interior. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, David, why are you joking with these two? And then Marvin yoked him up. He's like, oh, Marvin, you're stronger than you look. I was like, he's a lot stronger than he's a lot stronger than he looks, and he has got a blinking, like, sir, he took out your brother. What the fuck? So then he wants to have a mixer, and Rock was like, we can have a fucking mixer after my product is out there. And so Rock left, and Rock was pissed off at Marvin. She was like, I told you just to, put a little pressure on him. Terry, that is, right? He said he was telling him, he was like he was gonna go to the cops. She's like, Marvin, he wasn't finna go to the fucking cops. But she said, you know what, since this is your problem, you gonna work with coked up Martha Stewart. And I said, not coked up Martha Stewart. Bitch, I hollered, right? So then then she was like, this Afghan man, this Afghan brother wants to meet up with all our people. And again, coked up Martha Stewart. I'm supposed to introduce him to him? And that's why she told Marvin, this is your problem to clean up, so clean it up, Marvin. And I was like, I have to agree with the Rock. Marvin, this is your shit to clean up. This is your shit. So then we see Marvin. Marvin went to go see the mother, and so the nurse is telling him, he asked like, how is she today? She's like, she's okay, but she's tough. He's like, how is she today? She's like, she's tough. So Marvin ended up leaving, right? So then when we see Marvin, she went to go meet up with Irvin, right? So Irvin let Mark know, hey, I know what happened to Terry. I don't want that shit to happen to me. So as far as me and you go, we're good. I'm still going to stay in this business with you, and we are fine and we are good, right? Now, we did also see as Rock and Stefano went to go meet up with the Afghan guy, right? So suffice it to say, the Afghan man is going to be working with, Rock and Stefano. And that's really all we got. So then, towards the end of the episode, you guys, now Rock, girl, because when she got home, her lights were off, right? But there was a door, and I think it was in the kitchen. So she probably didn't see it until she she didn't see nothing until she got into the kitchen and saw that Unique was in her fucking house eating her fucking ice cream. And that was the end of the episode, you guys. Let's make sure I did not miss anything, because if I did, then hell I did. But if I didn't, so we talked about the bar. We talked about Rock, Neek, Marvin and Rock, Marvin, Rock, OC, Kanan. Yeah, you guys, I think we hit everything in this week's episode. But again, like I said, if I didn't hit everything, y'all know the routine. Y'all can leave it in the comment section, guys. Y'all can leave it in the comment section. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. We do get, I think it is 10 episodes, so we have 4 more episodes. So we have, y'all know Power User has a bye week. I don't know when that bye week is coming, but y'all know we probably got a bye week somewhere, probably between episode 9 and 10, or probably between episode 8 and 9, one of the two. But that's it, you guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm trying to make sure that I hit everything. But again, if I didn't, just leave it down in the comments. Or since this is going to be a premiere, leave it in a live other premiere, and we'll talk, and then we can discuss it next week, because this video just feels very short. That's why I'm confused, because I'm used to having at least a 30-minute video, almost 30 minutes, but this is almost 25 minutes, and I just feel like this is lacking something. I don't know what. But yeah, that's it, you guys. See you guys later. Bye, y'all.